This Elly Cruz kid is insane. He showed off the sprinter speed yet again. He made some history in yesterday's game against the Angels as Mike Trout made his return from the IL. The Braves offense, they also made some history because of course they did. We had some Justin Verlander versus Alex Cora of the Red Sox. Alex Cora later on in that game, he got ejected. And also we have an update on Wander Franco and the Wander Franco replacement. He had a big game. All of that in today's MLB recap, a series in which we recap every single game almost every single day. And a reminder, make sure you guys use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off concert tickets or baseball games. The Giants were taking on the Phillies in Philadelphia, and we've seen some really good things from the Phillies over the last 2 months, but one thing was kind of missing, and that was Bryce Harper going yard. Bryce bombs, they're slowly but surely coming back. Right there is a 2-run lefty home run, so back-to-back games with a home run. The other one was an inside the Parker, but he's hitting .333 with 6 home runs over his last 15 games. The Giants, they knew this was a big game because they're fighting for the lives and the wild card, and Jock Peterson, he delivered in the clutch. His 2-run double in the 5th kind of ruined Taijuan Walker's gem. He was still pretty decent though. So now it's 3-2 San Francisco, and they brought in their big dog Camilo Duvall. Okay, well, he didn't look very big doggish. He allowed multiple base runners to reach, and now the bases are loaded for Trey Turner, and a game of inches, that's a walk-off. I'm so happy it was Trey Turner. His 92 OPS plus is still not very good, but he's hitting .353 with 10 extra base hits and 14 RBIs over his last 17 games. Trey Turner, TT, he's back. That is one of the worst losses of the year for the Giants, mostly because if Arizona wins this game against the Rangers, not only will they sweep the Rangers, but they'll be knocking San Francisco out of a spot in the wild card. Arizona, they grabbed their first run on a double play, and they kept adding to it on RBI singles from Gabriel Moreno and Corbin Carroll. Okay, that wasn't an RBI single for Corbin. It was an error that allowed Moreno to score. The Snakes, they grabbed 2 more runs in the 5th inning, so not the most exciting game offensively, but they got the job done nonetheless. All of that run support was for Zach Gallen, by the way. He was sharp again. He held the juggernaut Rangers offense to 1 run over 6 innings. He struck out 11 on 90 pitches. Gallen, he has a 1.42 ERA and a 2.1 FIP over his last 4 starts. He's going to cruise to an easy W. Now, it ended up not looking like an easy win because Corey Seager, he drove in 2 runs, giving him 76 RBIs in just 83 games. But this game wasn't close at all, and Alek Thomas, he put a stop to any potential comeback. What an insane grab. He was traveling at 30.2 feet per second. He covered 100 feet. 90% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. The other 10% is covered by Alek Thomas. Seawald, he has 27 saves. The Diamondbacks are now a half game ahead of the Giants for that final wildcard spot in the National League. The Red Sox and the Astros, I almost kind of feel bad for Kyle Tucker because in any other year or era, this is probably an MVP season. He's hitting .296 with 25 home runs, 94 RBIs, which is now #1 in the American League, and 24 stolen bases. He's on pace for 32 home runs, 31 stolen bases, a near 150 OPS plus. Justin Verlander, he finally looked like vintage JV, 6 shutout with 9 punchies, and also he made Alex Cora mad in the process. Yeah, I guess JV was having issues with his pitch comm. Cora took exception for some reason, and then JV told Cora to F off. So it was 3-0 Houston when Cora, he erupted after an Alex Bregman walk. He was not happy with the strike zone. Yeah, he got his money's worth. He completely lost his mind. The Astros, they ran it up to 7 runs on a John Singleton 2-run double. So Singleton hit a double. I'm sorry, that was terrible. That was a massive W because the Mariners, they've been on fire, and the Astros can't afford any losses, but also the Rangers, they've been scuffling as well. Now, unfortunately for Houston fans, Seattle is currently playing the White Sox, and they might be the most dysfunctional team in all of baseball. I'm talking ahead of the Royals. I'm talking ahead of teams like the Pirates and stinkers like the A's. They fired Vice President Ken Williams and General Manager Rick Hahn, so the ship is sinking, and then they brought back Tony La Russa. What is going on down on the South Side? On top of that, Seattle, they came ready to play. They went up 2-zip on a few RBI singles right before Josh Rojas. He's been way better ever since he got traded from the Diamondbacks to Seattle. He has 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases over his last 9 starts. There's not really much else to talk about. The Mariners are now winners of 8 in a row, and they really need the Baltimore Orioles to beat the Blue Jays, but stay tuned. We'll talk about that game later on. I almost don't even have words for what Yankees fans are going through right now because, like, this is completely a new feeling. I've never had to experience this as a baseball fan, and Yankees fans, if they were born after 1982, they've never had to deal with this. But there's Carter Kieboom, who I forgot existed. He ripped a 3rd-inning home run, only to have Ben Rortvedt match that, so those 2 solo home runs were the only runs scored in the first 7 7 innings because Carlos Rodon and Josiah Gray, my bad, they were both locked in. Josiah, he was basically unhittable. He allowed 1 hit, that home run to Ben Rortvedt. He went 6 innings, 1 hit allowed. He's still just 25 years old. A rotation of Strasburg, Mackenzie Gore, Cade Cavalli, Josiah Gray. That sounds super intriguing. The Nationals just have to stay healthy because offensively, they have found someone to build around. CJ Abrams, he wins it on a short porch special. Since July 1st, CJ has 6 home runs, a 340 on base percentage, and 24 stolen bases. He just turned 22 years old. He's getting better and better. Kyle Finnegan, he has 22 saves. He has a 1.3 ERA and 11 saves since the beginning of June. The Yankees, for the first time since 1982, have lost 9 games in a row. No one currently on the Yankees roster right now was even born in 1982. So yeah, it's been quite some time. The Reds were taking on the Angels in Anaheim, and Mike Trout was back in the lineup, and there's not much he can do about that one. Matt McClain, he is quite literally Dustin Pedroia reincarnated. He's hitting 300, well, he's hitting 295, basically 300, with 14 home runs, 11 stolen bases in his first 83 games. Now, we do have some good news for Halo fans. Brandon Drury, he's back and healthy. Well, he's been back for a while, but he launched a home run. And then Mike Moustakas, he made it back-to-back. He has 8 home runs in 43 games, so shout out to Moose. And then this made me very happy. Logan O'Hoppe, he was on his way to winning Rookie of the Year before he injured his shoulder, so it's really nice to see him go yard. The Angels, they have Mike Trout, Brandon Drury, and O'Hoppe back in the lineup, so it's go time. But I guess to the Angels, go time means blowing the game entirely because Cincinnati, they tied it 14 seconds later. That is heartbreaking. Rookie Nolan Shanuel, he knew that Elly Cruz was running, so he took his eyes off the ball and deflected. 2-run score. Then rookie Spencer Steer, he ripped a double to left, and I don't think I've ever seen a baseball player run that fast. Look at Elly's strides. He looks like a gazelle. He went first to home in 9.7 seconds. That almost doesn't even seem real. Alexis Diaz, he's been nasty. He has 34 saves. So the Reds, they spoil Mike Trout's return. But like I said in the intro, Elly, he made some history. In the first inning, he stole his 20th bag of the season. He's the fastest ever to 10 home runs and 20 stolen bases. He did it in 64 games. He beats Barry Bonds, who did it in 65 games. So yeah, Elly Cruz, one of the most freakish athletes in sports history, honestly. So the Cubs and the Tigers are currently battling. Like, whoever wins this series will be the best team in baseball named after an animal. Both games have been a back and forth boxing match. Andy Ibanez, he socked his first of 2 home runs on the night, and of course Kerry Carpenter, he drove in an RBI. Chicago, they started throwing haymakers of their own with Dansby and Jamer popping off in the 4th inning. Dansby has 19 home runs and 13 outs above average. He leads all of NL shortstops. Jamer Candelario, he's hitting 350 with 9 extra base hits in 18 games as a Cub, but he negated one of those RBIs with an error right after. That tied it, and Andy Ibanez with another 400-foot missile, this time a 3-run home run to basically put this game on ice. Okay, Dansby, he wasn't going to go down without a fight. That is a 2-run double to make it a 1-run game. Okay, now it's over. Kerry Carpenter, he was given a free RBI on a bases loaded hit by pitch. He has an insane 480 on base percentage over his last 17 games. Alex Lang, he has 19 saves on the season. The Tigers are looking pretty good as of late because they got great starts from Skubal, Erod, and breakouts from Kerry Carpenter, Torkelson, and Riley Green. I like their little core. So the Cubs just took an L, and the Reds beat the Angels, so now we have to check in on the Brewers and see what happened. Willy Adames, the guy still rakes. We all know that. He has 20 home runs, and he kind of needed that because even though he rakes, he's only hitting .212 on the season. The Minnesota Twins, however, they answered right back with a 2-run tater from Christian Vasquez, and Kyle Farmer, he had a go-ahead RBI single. It stayed tied until the 6th inning when Minnesota, they completely imploded. Mark Canha, he started the rally on an RBI single. That was followed up by 3 separate RBI singles. Tyrone Taylor, he got the lead. Bryce Terang, he added to it, and then Brian Anderson, he finished it off with a 2-run base hit to seal Minnesota's fate. Milwaukee has won 4 games in a row, and they are 3.5 games ahead of the Chicago Cubs for first place in the NL Central. So because we talked about the Twins, let's talk about the Guardians. I'm not gonna lie, I almost turned my TV off after watching this home run. Now, Will Smith, he's amazing, so no surprise on that 2-run home run, but Thor, he just seems so lost without his fastball. Mookie got on in the 3rd inning. He had 2 base hits, so he's now hitting over 300, and Freddie Freeman, he knocked in his buddy Mookie Betts, so it's 3-0 Dodgers, and that was it for LA. Oscar Gonzalez, he got the ball rolling for Cleveland with a huge home run. He hit one the other way. He let the ball travel. Finally, he had 27 doubles and 11 home runs in 91 games last year as a rookie, so the talent is there. Same with Gabriel Arias. His exit velocities are crazy. He's actually right behind Elly Cruz for average exit velocity for shortstops. Thor, he went 6 innings, only 4 base hits, so hey, good for him for not giving in. Technically, he threw a quality start. LA, they left in Bobby Miller for a little bit too long. In Cleveland, they made him pay with an RBI single from Stephen Kwan. J-Ram, there he is for the lead. It's 4-3 Cleveland. I'm not feeling comfortable. No way. No way. Build the statue right this second. Cole Calhoun, a 3-run lefty home run. He's hitting 306 with 9 RBIs in 13 games. The Cleveland Guardians, they gain a game on the Minnesota Twins, but they're still 5 games back. But before we talk about Wander Franco and the Tampa Bay Rays, let's talk about the other team in Florida, the Miami Marlins. Jorge Soler, he simply does not hit cheap home runs. How far is that one going to go? 442 feet for his 33rd home run. He's got 9 home runs over his last 20 games. Miami, they were able to capitalize on a few blunders from the Padres. They made it 3-0, and it could have been more. But look at Fernando Tatis Jr. throwing a laser from right field to end the 3rd inning. He has 11 outs above average defensively in right field. That is still the most in Major League Baseball. Luzardo, Mr. Jesus, the Lizard Man, he turned in one of his better starts because remember, these are mini playoff games, so every single inning means 10 times more. Both the Marlins and the Padres are fighting with like 6 other teams for a wild card spot. Luzardo, he went 6 shutout with 7 strikeouts, only allowed 2 base hits. He has a blow-up start every so often, but the kid is nasty. David Robertson, he kept his cool. He has 18 saves. The Marlins are now 1 game back of a wild card spot, and the Padres, they fall to 6 games back. And they're not going to win the NL West, so yeah, the wild card is their only hope, and they're losing a lot of games. So I guess before we talk about the Rays highlights, we'll talk about the Wander Franco update. So he is on paid leave right now, and there is no timetable for his return. According to reports, these are all alleged reports. There are 2 different cases being investigated, so not just the one original report that you guys heard about in the recap a couple days ago. Tampa Bay has completely removed Wander Franco signage from Tropicana Park or Field, whatever it's called. So yeah, things are not looking good right now if they're removing all of the signs and he's on paid leave. So he's not going to be on the team for quite some time. But I won't lie to you guys, it was a pretty close game for the first few innings. Colorado, they went up 2-1 on a Michael Toglia home run when Jose Siri, he tied it on a single, and Yandy Diaz, he grabbed the lead. Colorado, they just would not take the hint. They fought back to steal the lead again. And here we go. Bethancourt and Yandy Diaz, they both knocked in 1 on RBI singles. Randy Arozarena also had an RBI. Well, actually, he had 2 RBIs on that single right there. So that is 7 runs without a home run. Make it 8 runs after Isaac Paredes doubled to score Yandy Diaz. Finally, a home run. Osley Vesey Basabe, that is a name. He launched his first career home run, and it was a grand slam. He has 4 extra base hits and 8 RBIs in his first 8 games. He's never going to hit 20 home runs. He doesn't have that type of pop. He is more of a contact and speed threat, but considering Wander Franco is going to be out for quite some time, any sort of production from this guy, Basabe, it's going to be just much appreciated. All right, let's see what happened between the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Austin Hayes, he put the Orioles up 1 on a double in the first inning, and Dalton Varsho, he decided to one-up that and go 416 feet. That 2-run home run gives him a .320 batting average with 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases over his last 14 starts. He has 16 home runs, 15 stolen bases, and 7 outs above average defensively. Even though he's hitting .225, he's still been very productive. Kevin Kiermaier, he doubled in another. He's having a bounce-back season at 33 years old. He has a 108 OPS plus and 9 outs above average. Now, speaking of bounce-backs, the Orioles, they got right back into it in the 5th inning. Mateo Speed, he caused some mayhem. He scored to make it 3-2, and then rookie Jordan Westberg, he tied it on a double. This game actually needed extra innings, so free baseball it is. Brandon Belt, he appreciated getting more at-bats because he demolished that pitch for a 2-run blast. He has 14 home runs and a 133 OPS plus. Jordan Romano, he struck out 2. He has 31 saves. This Romano guy is sick. He's from Canada, so the hometown kid has a 2.17 ERA and a near 11.5 strikeouts per 9 with 92 saves since 2020. He's amazing. That swing right there, that's some history for the Braves. Eddie Rosario, his 2-run blast was his 20th home run of the season, so the Braves, they now have 7 hitters with 20 or more home runs. They only needed 125 games to get 7 hitters to 20 home runs. That's the fewest games in MLB history. The record, by the way, for 20-plus home run hitters is 8. Arcia has 14, and Michael Harris has 11, so I don't know if they're going to break that. Ozuna, he now has 27. The Braves have 44 home runs than the second-place team, the Dodgers, who have 195. Bryce Elder, he was pretty good before that 2-run moonshot to Daniel Vogelbach. He's still going to get the W regardless. He's now 10-4 with a 3.3 ERA as a rookie. Raisel Iglesias, he has 25 saves. And by the way, Ronald, he stole 2 bags in this game, so he has 28 home runs and 58 stolen bases. He's 2 home runs and 2 stolen bases away from the first ever 30-60 season in MLB history. Here we go. The Cardinals and the Pirates. After Connor Joe laced an RBI single for the game's first run, Richie Palacios, he ripped his first career home run. His brother is Josh Palacios, who is currently playing center field field for the Pirates. Adam Wainwright, he finally looked dialed in. He is only 2 wins away from 200 for his career, and oh my, the wheels completely fell off later on in the game. He may never get to 200 wins. Brian Reynolds, he drove in 2 on his 26th double, and Andrew McCutchen, he cranked a 2-run home run to end Waino's night. Adam Wainwright has a negative 2.5 WAR, and over his last 9 starts, he's given up 47 runs in 33 innings, which gives him a 12.6 ERA over that stretch. By the way, McCutchen, he is 1 home run away from 300. David Bednar, he locked down his 27th save. This game didn't mean anything, but it was still a fun game to watch. Unless you're an Adam Wainwright fan. That was not fun at all. This is kind of mean, but from one washed-up pitcher to another, Mr. Zach Greinke, he was making his return from the IL, but he was used in relief, so we're not going to see him for a few innings. Now, the A's, they were able to tee off on a guy named Angel Zerpa. I have no idea who that is, but Brent Rooker, he had an RBI single, and Shea Langoliers, he has a home run in back-to-back games. Aledmus Diaz, he knocked in 2 more. So Oakland is up 5-2 when Greinke and the boys kind of flipped the switch and made this a ball game. Salvi, he played a 2-1 RBI single in the 5th inning. Greinke, he went 4 innings of shutout baseball in relief. He struck out 5. He lowers his ERA to 5.3. He is 1-12 this year. Now, he's not going to get the L himself, but the Royals, they did lose the game. Not enough juice behind them. Trevor May, he wrapped up his 13th save, and looky there, the Oakland Athletics, they're on a little 2-game winning streak. Before we do today's Immaculate Grid, a quick update on the standings. So like we said, they're absolute madness right now. So the Astros are a half game back of the Rangers after the Rangers, they've lost 6 games in a row. The Mariners, they've won 8 games in a row. So the Mariners are 1 game back, and the Astros are a half game back. If we go to the NL, pretty much everything aside from the NL Central has been settled. The Cubs are 3.5 games back of the Brewers for first place, and the Reds are 4 games back. So here we go, the wild card. The Marlins, the Reds, and the Giants are all within 1 game of the final wild card spot. The Diamondbacks and the Cubs are tied right now for the 2nd and 3rd wild card spot, and the Phillies, they're 3.5 games ahead. So let me know in the comments, who do you think are going to be the final 3 wild card teams? I would say right now, I think that the Diamondbacks on paper are pretty good. The Cubs also are playing pretty well, and they might get Marcus Stroman back, but let me know, who do you think are going to be the top 3 teams in the wild card in the NL? And then in the AL, you have the Blue Jays at 1 game back of the Mariners. Are they going to flip-flop? The Jays have won 3 in a row. The Mariners have won 8 in a row. And then obviously the Red Sox, they've lost 2 in a row. Same with the Angels. The Angels are 10 games back. I think their season is officially over. The Yankees, 10.5 games back. Yeah, they're done. I don't know what just happened with my computer, but it glitched out. I have Rich Hill and Colin Moran as my first 2 guys. So Moran is the Reds and Pirates, and Hill is the Red Sox and the Pirates. 200 plus strikeouts in a season. That is AJ Burnett. I'm going to go AJ Burnett. Perfect. The A's and the Red Sox, I'm going to go Coco Crisp, one of my favorite players of all time back when I was young when he was on Cleveland. The A's and the Reds, was Vida Blue ever on? I don't think they was, but I know that Vida Blue, I could go with Barry Zito for this one, but Vida Blue, I know he had like 300 strikeouts as a rookie, I think back in the day. The Reds and the Braves, I could go Adam Duvall. The Reds and, oh no, wait, Red Sox and the Braves. Oh wait, Reds and the Braves, I could go Duvall for either of these guys. I'm going to go Duvall for the Red Sox and the Braves, and then Reds, Braves. I don't know. That's out. Is it Kenny Lofton? I don't think that Kenny Lofton ever did that. The Braves and a 200 strikeout season, I'm going to go Spencer Strider. That one is super easy, very recent. So can I please type this in? Spencer Strider. There we go, 17%. The A's and the Reds. Didn't Adam Dunn finish out his career kind of sucking with the A's? Yep, 8%. Braves, Reds. Braves, Reds. I'm thinking maybe Joe Morgan. I'm thinking maybe like Abraham Almonte, but I don't know if Abraham Almonte was on the Reds. I'm going to go Joe Morgan. I can't think of another guy. So we have Joe Morgan. If I get this wrong, I won't be too upset. Wait, there's 2 Joe Morgans, 1963 to 84, 1959. It's got to be this guy, right? I got it wrong. I could have gone with, I don't know any of these people. What about Brandon Phillips? Brandon Phillips, Ken Griffey, Reggie Sanders. I mean, those were some big names. I should have got those. That does it for today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe button. And remember, I post MLB The Show almost every single day. Fuzzy Gaming right here. We're on the road to 100,000 subs. I'll see you over there.